Morning, my friends. Mike's MMA Picks here with your Fight Morning Quick Card Breakdown Show brought to you by BetDSI as well as MMA Oddsbreaker. We are here for UFC Vegas 62, where we have Viviane Araujo taking on Alexa Grasso. Should be a fantastic night of fights. We're out here out west getting this show in on the road before 7 a.m. So great to see everybody. Let's chat about the first fight of the evening, which I'll be honest, it's amazing to see that this fight is taking place at the UFC level. Mike Jackson taking on Pete Rodriguez. Pete Rodriguez coming in as close to minus 700 favorite, which is mind-boggling considering the experience factor. And Mike Jackson on the other side of the fight shouldn't be competing at this level. We saw him win via an eye gouge from his opponent, Barry, last time out. In this spot, Rodriguez is going to be winging haymakers, looking to take Jackson out of there, and likely will do so. I don't see this one going the distance, and the odds are indicating that it shouldn't go the distance as well. We have fight doesn't go the distance sitting at minus 600, which is a little ridiculous here. So the pick is going to be Pete Rodriguez, but it's a shame that this bout is happening at the UFC level. I think there are other worthy fighters who should be competing as the curtain jerker. Next up, we have a flyweight bout between CJ Vergara and Tatsuro Tyra. Looking forward to this bout. Been looking forward to this one for a while. Vergara came in heavy, 129 pounds, a bit of an issue on the scales. And we've seen in the Ode Osborne fight prior to that, Vergara had issues in that situation as well. Tatsuro Tyra, still in his early 20s. But something that jumps off the tape when you're watching Tyra fight is his ability to find the back of opponents and his ability to use his length on the mat. I believe that is going to be in play here. Vergara's aggressiveness should lead to his demise in this spot. Vergara is tough as nails. I'll give him that. Last time out in his last bout, showed us what he's made of and was able to walk away with a victory. But Tyra, I believe, is the rightful favorite here. I like the submission line when it was sitting at plus 380, plus 350. And I'll be picking Tyra to win and to do so inside the distance. But there's a chance that he gets that body lock in and then just rides out some time. So give me Tyra in that spot. Now, fascinating matchup here that we have next between Sam Hughes and Piera Rodriguez. Piera Rodriguez, undefeated fighter who took out Kay Hansen last time out, is known for her potent power. And Sam Hughes has rattled off a few victories in a row. It's interesting how she's made a comeback here after her debut against Tisha Torres. Goodness gracious, that did not fare well, but she's turned the corner here. Sam Hughes is going to look to get her wrestling going. I think she's outmatched on the feet. Piera Rodriguez is a tough fighter who is going to march forward. Both of these fighters are very aggressive these days, and Sam Hughes seems to be coached from a better team at a Fortis. Interesting situation. I have a weird feeling, an inclination that Piera Rodriguez may get it going on the feet early and could earn Sam Hughes' respect via the power punching. I'll be picking Rodriguez here at minus 160. I'll be honest, Hughes could come out here and score an upset, though I believe Piera, her punching power is going to be a difference maker here, and I'll be picking her to win. Next up, Joe Anderson Burrito taking on Lucas Alexander. Watched Lucas Alexander's fights. He has had his back taken a bunch of times on the regional scene. Now gets the call up here. Is a decent striker. I watched his ability to use range inside of a smaller octagon from the regional promotion that he was fighting in. Burrito, I believe this is a levels fight. Burrito is a very aggressive fighter who will come out here and look to land bombs. Also has the guillotine that Lucas is going to have to worry about in this spot. And I'll be picking Burrito to win inside the distance. Alexander doesn't look bad on the tape, though. I watched him fight on the feet, and he's got some promise there. Burrito, though, I believe is going to be too much for him, especially with having a full camp. That's another issue. So give me Joe Anderson Burrito in that spot. Next up, where we have people's main event here, Nick Maximov taking on Jacob Malcune. This line has closed over the past week or so. Malcune is a grinder, not much of a submission threat, but somebody who's going to push a pace. Maximov, I have concerns that Maximov may come out here and look to strike early, but he hasn't done that. He hasn't been looking to do that. And Maximov, I believe, has the better wrestling here, and also his ability to establish top position. Malcune, I haven't liked what I've seen when he's on his back. He gets caught on the bottom and can get caught on the bottom for significant stretches here against Maximov, who, if he minds his P's and Q's, has the potential to win a decision in this spot. Maximov does not throw combinations, so I'm hoping that Maximov stays away from trying to get into a firefight on the feet. Malcune, we've seen the Phil Hawes fight taken out of there briefly. I don't think the striking is the path to victory for Maximov. He's going to have that gas tank in check too. Malcune, that's one of his greatest strengths, is his gas tank and his pace. He's relentless out there. I'll be picking Maximov, though. I think that he has the ability to scramble out of tough positions where Malcune hasn't necessarily been able to do that. So give me Maximov to win in that spot. And as the number at -125, I think that's a decent spot here. The one thing I will say, when you watch Nick Maximov interviews, it's a little disturbing how little he's able to offer from a strategic game plan perspective, and also coming off of the loss. I have some concerns about the way he took that loss. He basically has said he doesn't care. Basically, it happened, and that was the worst thing that could have happened to him. And now he's back at it again. He doesn't really care about the result, but I trust that Maximov, when it comes down to it, we've seen him against Cody Brundage and others, the wrestling is going to be on display here. So give me Maximov to win. Next off, we have a retread and Brandon Davis taking on Manny Martinez. Manny Martinez sitting at -150 right now. Interesting spot. Brandon Davis, who is very well-rounded, I'll give him that. And he did not look. Brandon Davis, we've seen against Randy Costa and others, he's been able to put it on some fighters. Manny Martinez, I believe he trains with Adrian Yanez and had a coach who passed away in the past couple of years. Martinez, the Kennedy fight, that win is starting to look a little bit better. I believe Martinez's power is going to be the difference maker here, and I'll be picking Manny Martinez to win. I also think that he has the potential to end this one via knockout. Next up, where we have Misha Cirkunov taking on Alonzo Menifield. Menifield coming in as the -195 betting favorite, and Cirkunov coming in as +155. Cirkunov heading back up to 205 now after, man, he has not looked good recently, and he's getting up there in age. Both of these fighters are in their mid-30s. Menifield, he beat a fraud of a fighter in his last matchup. That was a gift, that inside the distance line last time out. Cirkunov has the ability to pose some problems as far as the grappling goes. We know he has a solid submission game here, and that could be put into effect here. I don't think this fight is going to be going the distance, and I believe the younger, fresher fighter has the potential to shut Cirkunov's lights off here. So Menifield's knockout or Cirkunov's submission is the way I see this one playing out. But the pick's going to be Menifield. Now, wow, have the times changed rather quickly too. Rafael Sansao coming in as a plus 315 betting underdog against Victor Henry. It's only a few months ago that we saw Victor Henry as, I believe, a plus 380 underdog against Heoni Barcelos. And now, a few months later, he's sitting at minus 425. Incredible. I'm not going to be laying that juice, but I will be picking Victor Henry here. I think that Sansao, he slowed down dramatically, and that's the difference maker here. Victor Henry's pace, his ability to stay out of tough positions is going to be a path to victory for him. Victor Henry, the volume is going to be on full display. And Sansao has relied on his counter striking and also his head movement and his jiu-jitsu. And I don't think either of those are going to be working in his favor against Victor Henry here. I'll be picking Victor Henry to win. Next up, middleweight bout between Jordan Wright, Beverly Hills Ninja, and Dusko Todorovich. Todorovich coming in as the minus 210 betting favorite. And I got to be honest, I think that is an accurate line here. Dusko Todorovich is the much better fighter when it comes down to it, skill-wise, cardio-wise, willingness to fight out of tough positions when he's conscious. Jordan Wright early can be very dangerous. I'm well aware of that. Jordan Wright, I love the way he gives his interviews. Just talk about a stark contrast of folks who give interviews. Take a listen to Nick Maximov's interview and then contrast that with Jordan Wright's interview. Polarizing. And Wright is a cerebral fighter, but when it comes cerebral fighter from a interview standpoint, but when the octagon door closes, he goes wild, and he typically gets caught, and usually a few minutes into the fight will have his lights shut off. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Dusko Todorovich also has the ability to win via submission. We saw last time out against Chidi was really trying to get his grappling going, and he was having some success, but just couldn't sustain it. And I believe that he's going to be able to do that here. So if you got in on the under 1.5 and the minus 150s, minus 160s, minus 170s, props to you. Now I believe it's in the minus 230s or so. Also, the Todorovich money line, Todorovich inside the distance, I believe those have been playable as well. Wright, if he's going to get this done, it's going to happen early, and I don't trust Wright's ground game. I trust Todorovich. I don't trust Todorovich's chin, though. That's the only issue here. So there is a chance that Todorovich gets his lights shut off, but Todorovich is the rightful favorite, I believe, and I'll be picking him to win. Next up, Cub Swanson taking on Jonathan Martinez. Both of these fighters I backed in their previous matchups and ended up cashing on them. The Elkins fight, I believe that was the last fight of last card of 2021 that took place, and I was heavy on Swanson in that matchup. Here, making the trip down to 135 pounds. Interesting. You have Martinez, who has the ability to fight well at range, and he's fighting an opponent who thrives in that realm as well. So this, I believe, could be a very competitive fight, especially early. Martinez, he's long. He can get caught, though. That is an issue we've seen against Grant and against other fighters who aren't necessarily at his level. He gets caught and dropped in many of his fights, and Cub Swanson is a fighter who has the ability to cause opponents problems. I think there's a high probability that one of these fighters ends up getting dropped, hitting the canvas at one point or another. I'm concerned at, I believe, 38 years of age, Cub Swanson making the trip down to 135 pounds. He made it, but that doesn't mean that you're going to perform well inside the octagon. We saw Dan Hooker a few months ago come in against Arnold Allen, looked phenomenal on the scales, but once it came time to compete inside the octagon, he was getting blasted all over the place. And I believe Jonathan Martinez has the ability to win this fight, and I'll be picking him, but I also am aware that Jonathan Martinez could potentially get caught here. So give me Jonathan Martinez to win, but not with much conviction. I believe there are better spots on this card. Main event of the evening, where we have Viviane Araujo taking on Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso coming in as a minus 235 betting favorite. This line has widened. Araujo, she is no slouch, as they say. She's a talented fighter who didn't start competing until she was later in age. Both of these fighters have some competitive bouts under their belt against legitimate competition here. Araujo has heavy hands. She usually comes in very dialed in early. And Alexa Grasso, one of her challenges is from a strength department in the grappling. I believe Araujo could potentially have some success there, especially early in the fight. I believe that Araujo is very live here in the first 3 or so rounds. And Grasso, she's tough as nails. She's a tough Mexican fighter who will give it her all, and gotta respect that. Gotta respect Grasso's boxing as well and her range management. I know she's had some success on the mat, but I don't think that that's going to be her strong suit here in this specific matchup against Araujo, who her kryptonite is running out of gas. Let's be honest here. I'll be picking Grasso to win, and this is a fight that women's mixed martial arts, from fight to fight, what I've noticed through the years is some fighters make significant improvements between matchups, and that's a situation that could be in play here. So although Araujo is getting up there in age, she does seem to be improving from fight to fight. And same with Grasso. Both of these fighters very competitive with their opponents. And the De La Rosa fight, Araujo, that was another one that you're seeing growth, and that's something that you do like to see when you're capping bouts. You talk about fighters who haven't necessarily improved through the years. Macy Chiasson, one of them, but there are fighters who end up being stagnant. I'll be picking Grasso to win, though. I believe she has more promise here, and also the cardio could potentially be what wins her the fight late. But Araujo is very dangerous early. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Remember to go get what's yours. If you are tailing any third-party folks, make sure that they are legitimate winners. You can check my tracked record at betmma.tips. I have plays that have been posted for a while now. There's a bunch of them where we've established some significant line value over at MMA Oddsbreaker Premium. The free play of the card today was Tatsuro Tyra to win via submission at plus 350 and plus 380. So let's hope that hits. And you look at the implied probability, you want to be able to establish some value there and get in and hopefully walk away with victory and some profit here. So have a great day. Thank you for your time and your energy, and have a great day. Cheers.